It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. All week long, we're starting with some true blues with our buddy Mike Zito. The name of the album, Chris?
The name of the album is Make Blues Not War. It's available on Amazon and iTunes. The name of that song was Make Blues Not War.
It just goes all together, right? Make Blues Not War.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not self-titled. It's self-titled, but it's called Mike Zito. If his name was Make Blues,
it's title
Not
track
War.
is what he meant to say.
Right. Self-titled. No, let him drown. Today is a crazy day where there's news out of Washington where the Congressman Scalise and 4 others shot in Virginia. The word is the gunman was killed on the site or eventually died. This was one of those things where I got into the shower regular day, got out of the shower, and into the shower regular day, got out of the shower, and the news was breaking everywhere.
Yeah.
And, the weirdo gunman, always a strange scene. But to hear that the guy was 66, it seems by the time that you're 66, you're out of that rage years.
Yeah, that's usually a young man's game.
It is. It's a guy in his 30s, I think.
Yeah, who's like, I'm going to change the world. I know what's best for this. This is the only way it could be done. Usually 66, you're going, this is a shit situation. But
the world is the world.
Yeah.
By that point. By the time you're 66, you're like, well, I'm getting a little pension, a little money tucked away. I'm going to go down and live in Ecuador for very, very cheap prices. But yeah, that is, and I was trying to wait, baseball practice at 6 o'clock, and not even softball, but these guys play baseball, huh?
Yeah.
You don't really see a lot of grown men playing baseball because you have to have somebody who can pitch,
right,
and somebody who can catch, and then you're just like, I don't know. I don't want to blow up my arm. I'm 38.
And this is like a daily game that they do?
No, it'd be crazy to play daily.
Well,
the Democrats and Republicans play. This was actually a practice. They were down there just shagging some flies, taking some BP. And I guess this guy walks out with a rifle and starts to shoot. And because, you had a whip, a majority whip, he had people with him. He had security officers, blah, blah, blah. And they had somebody to shoot the gunman. And now this guy's dead, so we're never going to completely find out what he hoped to accomplish with this stupid, ridiculous act. The FBI is saying too early to say if this could be called terrorism. I guess you have to be specific with your terrorism.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that any act of violence for the political or social message, I thought would be considered terrorism.
I think now you just want to be able to tie it in with the other terrorism. You know what I mean? You just can't be. I mean, any lone gunman is a terrorist. The entire idea to do something like this,
yes,
is to be a terrorist. But now we want to know if you're an official terrorist. If you've
gone for schooling for it.
Yes, you're officially recognized as a terrorist. So it'll take a little while to figure out, but it does push Russiagate off the news today. Trump has already came out and spoke, did the kind of thoughts and prayers and thank you to the people who were on the ground, the first responders, blah, blah, blah. But all that stuff. We did an unmasked today with Eddie Izzard. Gail, you're a big Eddie Izzard fan, but you missed it.
I did miss it because I was in a car accident today. In a cab on the FDR. And pretty dramatic, but all in all, everyone is safe. 2 people went to the hospital with minor kind of injuries, but I'm all right. And seemed like everybody was kind of walking and talking, but
you were in a 4-car pileup.
Yes. So my car got hit first I was in the back seat.
Oh shit.
On the kind of passenger side, and that's where the impact was, right on my door. It was pretty fucking scary. But not only, that happened while I was on my way to the unmasked, but then after it happens, we're waiting for the ambulance, we're waiting for the police, and then they've got to do a report. And then on top of that, I'm stuck on the FDR. It's not like I tried to kind of be like, so how do I get out of here? Like, you can't really hail a cab in the middle of the highway. So I completely missed the unmasked, which I was looking so much forward to because I'm a big fan of Eddie Izzard. I was so upset.
Eddie will look like a rock star today, too.
I know. And everybody's coming up to me saying how great the interview, how great he looked, how funny it was, how much energy was in the room.
He was really, he's a political guy as well. And he was up to talk about a lot of things because, the same divide that we have here, they have in England right now. And he's very interested in the fact that Al Franken was able to go from comedy to politics. That's his plan. Now, I'll also say this. I did an unmasked with him a couple years ago, and that was his plan then. I don't know. I'll believe it. And I even said this with Donald Trump. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know why anybody who wasn't in politics would want to go into that field. And you can see it in Trump's whole family. Like, oh, geez, this politics thing.
They seem pretty exhausted by the whole thing.
It's nonstop. It's a nonstop shit show. And you can make one small mistake. Of course, you can in the world of comedy now, too.
Yes.
But you can make one small mistake, and that's all the media pays attention to. And I kind of feel like no matter what you do in life, you think the media is going to like you. It's like when people go on Big Brother or Survivor, they kind of feel like, I think they're going to like me. I think the audience is going to like me. And people are always shocked when the audience doesn't. When the audience will say mean things.
Yeah, particularly like Big Brother when they come out of hiding, essentially, like they haven't been interacting with the world. And then they're just like, nobody liked all the things that I did.
You didn't think my group was the cool group?
Yeah, we made some shady moves. We told some lies. Yeah, I cried a lot. So what?
You had to.
Yeah, I said a lot of racist things, too, and homophobic.
Who doesn't? I was trapped in that house.
Eddie was really fascinated when it came to the trans... I'm going to say gender. Am I correct when I say transgender? Because I tried not to use the word because I never know where it goes.
As a blanket term, I think trans in general is fine, although I think Eddie specifically might be under the category of transvestite since he's not transitioning.
He mentioned that word, and I almost thought that word was offensive now. I thought that we don't say transvestite.
Well, the reason why, it's offensive when it's misused. Like, if somebody feels that they are female, and then you use transvestite. The word transvestite implies that you're a man who, or a woman, whatever, you're a person who likes to dress of the opposite gender, as opposed to, so it's only really offensive if used with the wrong group. Like,
right.
Caitlyn's not a transvestite. Caitlyn Jenner is transgendered.
I see. Now, what always interests me is the dresses like a girl, dresses like a boy gimmick. Because why when a woman puts on pants, are we not saying that they're transvestite? It's like if a woman wears jeans and is not wearing makeup, no one says she's transvestite.
Right.
But why is it? And now here's the thing too. So I don't know whether it's makeup. It can't be makeup because I've worn makeup for TV. Jimmy Fallon puts on makeup daily.
Yes.
Daily. Mm-hmm. And now I saw a guy the other day carrying a bag that was closer to a purse than most women's purses. So the man purse is becoming somewhat
more, fluid.
I just don't know when it happens that way, that you have to that you have to say that this is somewhat of the norm. Because I imagine when women started wearing pants, when you're coming out of like the 1800s, early 1900s, where there's still like petticoats and shit, that the first woman who said, you know what? I'm just not in the mood for that. I'm going to throw on a pair of jeans and fucking head down and get some butter and eggs. I bet people went ape shit.
Yeah. There's a great scene in the show Downton Abbey when one of the daughters, for the first time, comes to dinner very dressed up, but in like a fanciful pant.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, the dad was like, what is going on here?
Right.
No daughter of mine would wear a pant.
But
it's not that long ago when you think of, in the grand scheme of things.
Well, when I was a kid, a woman had to wear a dress to church. Had to.
Yeah.
And also had to have on some kind of head thing.
Yeah.
So that God was not offended by the top of her head.
Yes.
And I remember in my CCD classes when we would go into the church and the little girls who had forgot to have, what would you call like just that?
I don't know.
It's almost like a napkin.
It's like a little doily that they just pin to your hair.
Well, they would bobby pin something that was closer to a napkin or like a handkerchief onto their heads and be really mad. Like, how could you forget your whatever this thing was called?
Right.
And I was thinking, God, it sucks to be a girl.
It does.
It just sucks
great.
to be a girl. Way too many rules.
But they've all done away with that. The girls in Catholic Church, except for in the Vatican, they still kind of
which that surprised me.
In Italy, they kind of keep that going.
But now you could easily go to church wearing, I'll say, scuba suits. I think that you could put on a scuba suit and go into. What's going on, Chris? My phones are messed up.
Your phone software is fucked up.
Why don't we check that before the show instead of during? How about the way he was just talking like, yeah, software's fucked up. Didn't even sound like Chris at all.
It didn't at all. It was a very different kind of accent for you.
My IT voice.
Now, also, well, Jen, you were there. Were the jeans that he was wearing today, Eddie Izzard, way too stylish to be man jeans, right?
Yeah, they were really stylish.
Yeah.
They were super stylish. Like, I wanted a pair.
Yeah, they were very, he looked fantastic. He looked fantastic.
I knew that he would. That he would.
Well, I didn't know that he would because the last time he was here,
he was in a suit, right?
He went straight guy look, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I think his nails were done as black. But I remember the nails were done.
Was he doing red nails
today? Yeah, they were fantastic.
Damn.
Like really, really had a great look. But this is in the book, and I think this is hilarious. And it goes to show you how difficult it is. Because he'll wear gowns and dresses, people at his shows will attempt to give him flowers. He's like, what is this for? Why don't you just keep... What am I going to do with flowers?
Oh, God.
What is this? I'm the lady that wants flowers? So he's not interested in flowers at all. And by the way, and I don't even know if I've had an unmasked like this, but the hour went.
Did it?
I mean, I had so much I wanted to talk to him about, and it was just gone. The hour just shot by.
I was so tortured sitting on the FDR, the back of a cop car, just being like, I can't believe I'm missing this. Cuffed, of course. Well, I was belligerently drunk. Somehow this passenger caused this whole thing.
Rich, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. I was wondering if Gail was like kind of looking over her shoulder. I mean, first that guy coughs in her mouth, and then she is almost bitten by a shark. And now a car accident? I mean, Are you becoming schleprock?
Bad luck schleprock.
I honestly feel that way. A lot of people are tweeting me that this is some Final Destination shit, and that I need to watch out.
I didn't even like to joke around about that.
I don't like it either. I don't like it. I have felt very unlucky these last few weeks.
You should have tried to walk to one of the other exits of the FDR.
Oh my God, it was insane. I was nervous to get out of the car at first because you hear those stories all the time. Somebody gets a flat tire on a highway or, in the middle of the FDR. They get out to change their tire or like call for help or something and you get hit. Yeah. So there's still traffic going by us.
Zipping.
Yeah, so we kind of fucked up a good 2-3 lanes, I guess 2 lanes of traffic. And then there was like, everyone else was like moving on the shoulder. So there's still cars going by us. So it was very scary. But Officer Blinn showed up and I got to give him a shout out. Took control of the situation, got everybody in their right place, got all the answers.
Good for him.
It was great. Also a big Ron Bennington fan.
Is that right?
Yes, when he took my ID, he's like Ron Bennington?
Exactly.
Then when I told him, he was like, are you missing the show right now? And I was like, well, he's doing an interview with Eddie Izzard right now, and I'm missing that. And he goes, and unmasked?
That's great. That's nice.
So,
I'll have to send him some of the flowers that Eddie Izzard turned out.
Yeah, please do.
Fez just wrote to me that Eddie referred to himself as transgender last night on Colbert.
Really?
But that term is used differently now. Transgender doesn't exactly mean transitioning.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, the transgender I feel is a safe blanket term. But I do know at one time, and maybe his ideas and his identity has changed. At one time, he was kind of saying, I'm not a woman, but this is how I like to dress. So maybe now he feels more comfortable with the transgender umbrella, which I think is pretty safe.
But the thing is,
say trans.
I think all that has changed in the last couple of years. That we used to just say, I know one thing, he doesn't like to be called drag.
Right, because that's very different, because that's for entertainment purposes. That is a female impersonator. They don't walk down the street like this. Now, there are some people who are trans who happen to also be drag queens, and that's a little confusing when that happens. But more often than not, typically, drag queens tend to be gay men who, for money, dress as women, and they sing and dance and perform and do comedy and all stuff like that.
I've never considered what they do to be comedy. Is that wrong?
Well, you tell that to Bob the drag queen.
No, you're right. There's a great example.
Yes.
Everybody that I know that's funny thinks Bob the drag queen.
Yes. And Bianca also. Bianca Del Rio and Bob the drag queen are kind of moving over into that, doing stand-up shows.
Well, yeah, Bob goes to clubs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think transgender, like you said, is just a bigger umbrella.
Yes, it is. And look, this stuff is really confusing. It's not easy to get a handle of. I met up with a friend of mine who was telling me that another friend of mine from years ago in high school is possibly, she bumped into this person. And when I started to refer to her, she was like, yeah, just so you know, I don't think she is doing she anymore. So pretty sure it's, they. No, it's like a non-binary kind of situation. So in the conversation, I keep asking questions about what my friend is up to, what they're doing for work, all this kind of stuff. So then my friend would respond to me and say, they this and they that. And I'm like, wait, who is this? Is this the partner? No, it's just her, but we're saying they. And I'm like, well, that sounds plural to me, and it's getting very confusing. So now I'm just going to have to just use the name, because they does not sound like a replacement for he or she.
No, they is not a replacement.
I need another pronoun.
Do we still need, because I know actors no longer, the actresses, there's plenty who goes, I'm an actor, don't call me an actress. I'm not a girl actor, I'm an actor.
Right.
And I know we've stopped using the word comedian, which was like a real forced, really shoehorned
Yeah, very. What, does anyone say she's a radio co-hostess?
But yeah, that is a strange thing to say, right? We don't say doctress for a female doctor. My doctress is here and wants to talk to me. It's crazy that
Sounds so elegant.
There's a pilot that is going to be flying your plane today. But it's almost like we're at the point where gender seems to be almost outdated.
Yes.
Like at what point? It's almost like saying, my black doctor is here. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
By the way.
But why do we have an actor and actress Oscar? It's very weird.
It's a very strange thing.
It's not lifting weights.
I just want to add something really quick because you said black doctor. Yeah. I was on the train yesterday and an argument broke out. And it was two black girls and a white guy who's like, he had an accent, so I think he was Polish. And so they're arguing, but they're on the other end of the train. I don't know what somebody bumped into somebody and now they're upset with each other. Yeah. So the girls are yelling at him, "You're a racist. What you just said is racist. You're a racist." And then he starts saying back, "You're a black racist. You're a black racist." And everyone's going, "I don't think that's what you call it. It's just somehow you saying that sounds really, yes, but you are a black racist." I'm like, ugh.
Well, that's even when they use the term reverse racism. Right. That's like, why can't I be a racist no matter what race I am?
But black race is not a term.
No, you're
not a good way to describe it.
Hey, Dusty, Virginia, what's up?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Hey man, all this gender stuff, maybe I'm just too old school. I'm gay, right? And I don't understand why we can't just all be people and treat one another like human beings. All this stuff just gets in my head and it confuses the hell out of me.
Well, a lot of times we define people as minorities as a positive thing at first.
Right.
It's like, hey, do not pick on the gay kid. You know what I mean? And then it becomes he's the gay kid from that point on.
Right.
You'll hear when I do this, I bet nobody would think that I had said something offensive during this. And it has nothing to do with gender. But somebody came up to point out that, and this actually annoyed me. He said, "You made a faux pas," and then tried to give me his opinion of when a certain thing could be. And I was like, no, I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I was immediately pissed that somebody would think that I should think the way they do.
Right.
I don't think I've ever heard, I've been listening to you for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I've never heard you treat anyone disrespectfully like that.
Well, Chris, I do.
Yeah, just Chris.
But that's because Chris is a bottom and we enjoy our weird little relationship.
Oh, yeah, he has fun with it. Yeah. I mean, if you guys could see. There's a grin on his face.
There's the thing where S&M where you're just like, most of the people I know that are bottoms also enjoy being tops and tops enjoy being bottoms. No one is just like, very rare do you say strictly, I'm a bottom.
You can switch it up every now and then.
I like to say, and I feel like I was born this way, I'm a receiver of oral sex, not a giver of oral
That's the only thing you're sure of.
Yeah. But yes, it does feel like, Dusty, we're almost at this point.
I feel like I'm crazy because of all of this.
Yeah, well, we live in it's almost like we're a transitioning time. And I know for some people, it feels like it's slow or a long time coming. But see, these stars that walk by, is that your favorite?
That's Laverne Cox, who is also transgendered.
And that's one of the more famous, right?
Yeah, she's on Orange is the New Black, so she's an actress.
Was she the sweet transvestite in
exactly. Yeah, she played Dr. Frankenfurter in the live version.
Yeah. That's where I recognized her from. But anyway, over the course of my lifetime, people would not believe the changes that have been made, although it seems slow coming, particularly if you're on the ass end of anything. If you're the one taking shit. Like Mateo bringing up to us yesterday, somebody yelled something at him.
Right.
Would you feel like really still?
Yeah, it's weird, and it is strange, like, that you can be in one world and feel very comfortable in who you are, or what what is in your comfort zone, and then you can step out of that and go, oh, those rules don't apply everywhere.
Oh Hello is on Netflix right now. What does this mean? Biggest audience yet?
Because of all the people watching it.
Yes, but the biggest for what? Netflix?
Yes, I believe for Netflix.
So this is the biggest show that Netflix has ever had, is Oh Hello.
Really?
I find that hard to believe.
That's crazy.
All right, I'm being told no. Were you just guessing?
I was guessing, yes.
Why?
Well, why don't you just...
I don't like to say out no. I like to throw out a definitive answer, whether I'm right or wrong.
It's the biggest audience that
Oh Hello has ever had. Got it.
Because it was on Netflix. So it's not just in front of, I'm going to guess, 900 people
Right.
at a Broadway theater.
Oh Hello.
Oh Hello.
Jam damn sure.
Jam Dime Show. You were the big fan of that, huh, Chris?
Loved Oh Hello. Saw it twice on Broadway.
Really?
Yeah, saw it twice.
You know who else is like you? A young man that I like to call Hard Rock Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Big
Well,
Oh Hello fan.
Now, you and I recorded a Father's Day special.
We did.
Something that you and Disco Dan had put together. And let's face it, Dan had done the most of the work.
He did. And, it's a gift for me, but it's a gift from both of us. You being my father, and for him, you being a father figure to him.
I will be your father figure. I don't know the rest of the song.
That's all that matters. It's
I get to
fluid.
that
It's
point,
all
then
fluid.
I'm a little uncomfortable with that term.
You say it out loud and go, ugh.
But we do a lot of specials around here, and this is the first one that went smooth. This was done in real time, no stopping. No, wait, what is this supposed to mean?
Yes.
This is the wrong term.
It was great.
Dan did a fantastic job. And I don't know whether we get to play it on our show this week. We'd have to play it by Friday. But I know it's going to be on Laugh USA.
Yes.
And I don't think we've ever appeared on Laugh USA before.
No.
I've been on Comedy Greats quite a few times.
I mean, this is my first time being a clean team.
Oh, yeah, we had to stay clean.
Yes. Which I guess, I'm clean during GPS. I don't know why I'm acting like it's a big deal then. It's not like I'm like, that was a fucking great song, Ron.
I found out that fuckballs is not one of the words that you can use.
But yeah, it was so fun. And Disco Dan did a great job producing.
He's terrific.
It's like a bang-up job.
He's terrific. And he was holding his laughs. He was very adorable. He was sucking his laughs in.
Yeah. He didn't want to break the fourth wall. No.
I don't know what happened with Stevie Island. I thought they were all going to be there, but it was just Dan.
Yeah. He didn't invite the rest of the island.
It's weird.
I think he did invite. They just didn't show. Who do we got as our interns today?
We have both interns, Spencer Berger and Justin.
Just Spencer.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you.
Spencer
Oh,
Berger
hello.
has the #1 audience in the history of Netflix. Come on in here, Spencer. I need you.
Here he goes. Look at how fast he moves. You
He's
didn't even tell him to run.
unbelievably fast.
And he just went into
No, he
full-
always runs.
He's very fast.
Unlike Jen, who takes her time. I
She
saw
tries.
Jen stop at the old bubbler to get herself a little bit of water. Who says bubbler? Is that people from, I think, Boston?
So, yeah, I couldn't
They call it a
remember
bubbler.
if it was like an old-timey term or if it's a regional term. But
No.
I know that the first time I heard it, I was like, what the hell is a bubbler?
It's just a water fountain, right?
Yeah, it's just a regular water fountain.
No, it seems like there should be more bubbles. But I believe there's people in Boston. I could be wrong. Spencer, you're keeping an eye on this Washington, D.C. thing, right?
Oh, yeah. I
What-
just heard it this morning before I was getting on the train.
Yeah. What the hell's happening down there?
Well,
You're a
all I know
Democrat,
is
right?
that Yeah, I'm a Democrat.
You gotta stop shooting Republicans.
I know. We got to stop shooting anyone.
Yeah.
Stop shooting innocents.
That's beautiful.
That's really
Thank God
good.
they shot the guy who did the shooting.
But you said you want us to stop shooting people, and then you said, thank God they shot the guy.
Well, different scenario.
Okay.
Bad guys
But
are okay.
Bad guys, okay, but innocents, no.
No.
That's a good lesson.
I guess it is. And now they got a picture of the bad guy everywhere. He actually looks like an old friend of mine.
He does too.
I'm not very,
Very weird.
I don't even want to say who it is, but
No.
I'm very uncomfortable
I don't-
looking at that picture.
It's very similar. Uncanny even.
Bernie Sanders said violence of any kind is unacceptable. So Bernie Sanders stands with you.
Or you know what I
point.
would say?
What's
Violence solves nothing.
I like that. And yet, in this case, it did take violence to stop the bad guy. So sometimes violence solves things.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say violence begets violence?
I don't know what begets means.
It's biblical.
I would just say gets. I say begets, gets, begot. And then I'll say, and no one ever says this anymore. I say begin to begin.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite songs of all time. Chris is probably running for it right now,
Yeah.
typing away at it. There's a man on TV now with no neck. He just stuck his head directly onto his shoulders. I guess he just didn't even have time to get here. He had there's a picture of that guy that just had a thing that said tax the rich.
Everybody.
Oh boy. Like Congress did in the 70 years before Reagan. So I guess they're blaming it on non-tax people. I don't know. Or tax people.
Pro-tax people.
So you are on the side. You're a peace guy.
Yes.
You're a turn the other cheek person. Someone slaps your cheek. What do you do?
If someone were to smack it,
Yeah.
I would turn either way. If it's to the right, go to the right. If it's to the left, go to the left.
Right.
So you would let them. You say, "Here, I'm going to turn the other cheek. Go ahead and smack that cheek now."
Nah, it was just a joke, but
Oh.
you know what I mean.
No, but that's
But
what
would you
Jesus
hit-
said. I know
right.
you don't really listen to Jesus, right? You don't think he was God, Son of God?
It all depends, but actually, I know he was Jewish.
Yeah,
True.
was Jewish.
Was
until
Jewish.
He became a what? A Christian, because he is
Follows
Christ.
himself.
Yes.
Yeah, he follows himself. So you don't think his father was God, though?
I probably wouldn't think that, but
Okay, so who was his dad then? You think? That's the part I'd like to know. If his dad wasn't God, who was his dad
Or
and
kill.
why?
maybe it would be somebody named Jesus Senior.
Okay, like a Jesus Senior.
Good
Does
point.
make sense that he would be named after his dad. Chris, were you named after your dad?
No, I was not.
Odd.
I was named
He's
after.
ashamed of
I was named after Spencer Tracy, who played
were
Henry
you
Drummond
really?
in Inherit the Wind.
First
That's
of all,
cool.
a lot of young people don't even know Spencer Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Spencer Tracy, by the way, Catholic who could not get a divorce, did not stop him from having a long affair. So couldn't get divorced.
Interesting.
But then the other thing about coveting didn't mean shit to him. Chris, you know who you were named after?
No, I do not.
Hmm.
I believe it was just a popular name in the 80s.
Well, in the 80s, there was this mangy, frothy dog named Christopher. And it was the first dog that could turn all the way around and lick its own dog penis.
I never heard about
And that's,
this.
yes.
That's
And
what you were
everyone
named
said, if you have a scary baby, name it Christopher.
Chris has been popular for many years, and it's still popular today.
It is.
Oh, I didn't know
It is
that.
because of that dog.
Who are you named after, Ron?
Well, that's an interesting thing because my real name would have been Joseph because I was dying when I was born, but I was born in a Catholic hospital and I had the cord wrapped around my neck. So they christened me Joseph right away. But then when I lived, my parents said, well, we want to have the same initial because they'd already named my brother after my dad. So they came up with those two were Roberts. So they gave me almost last minute. And I'm like this, don't I seem more like a Joe to you?
Yeah. I think
I could see that.
I could be like,
could
here
definitely
comes
see that.
JoJo. Hey, Joey, what's up?
Joe Bennington.
Yeah, Joe Bennington. Seems like a much nicer guy.
Do you think that you would be, well, when you were little, I bet you would have been Joey. Because, like, they always give the, like...
Joey Bennington.
Little Joey Bennington, they would have said.
Well, they called me Ronnie Bennington
Right,
when I
so
was a kid.
you probably would have been Joey until you decide, guys, I'm
Hey,
Joe
listen,
now.
if you were in high school, you know what I bet you they could have called you? Ronnie B.
Yeah, that's true. Some people did do that.
True.
But I think they probably would have called me Joey Stones because they would have seen me throwing a stone one time. Like, here
look at
comes
this guy.
Joey Stones.
This guy, he's like old Joey Stones.
Watch out for Joey Stones. He's chucking stones all the time.
Then you got to live with that later.
Yeah.
Just one time I was throwing stones.
Now, if Gail was going to be, I almost wanted to call Gail Ronnie, and I brought that up. I'm like, Ronnie would be great because I like it as a girl's name.
Yeah, my cousin's a girl, and her name is Ronnie.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
Me
she
and her ought to
Veronica?
get together. Yeah.
That I don't really know. I would have to ask my dad that
not
because
very
she's on my
close
dad's
with
side.
Not very close with it then.
No, we're pretty close. Well, we
Too
only
close.
meet them for the high holidays. That's when we see them.
What's the high holiday? Is that when you're smoking weed?
Actually, it would be a time to get together, eat plenty of food.
Right.
Or if people were smoking weed, then they would eat even more food.
That's true.
On the high
People
holidays.
do seem like they like eating.
they get hungry.
Chris, when you smoke weed, do you eat extra food?
Oh God, yeah, I'm a fucking monster.
A monster?
Right. Well,
That would be also a good time to order in some wings, especially when you're in college.
oh yeah, college is wing time.
Oh yeah, it's wing time,
Tommy want wingies.
party time.
Do you like them hot? You like hot wings, or you like them
Not too hot, but like mild to medium, Parmesan garlic, barbecue.
No, you're not allowed
That's
to
what
go
I
out
would.
for wings with him, right?
I cannot go out with wings with Spencer Berger.
Did you know that we're not allowed to socialize with you? I just found out.
Yeah,
the other day.
no, HR said we can't.
Yeah.
It's very clear. They made it clear.
Because actually, you're the first class of interns that Chris hasn't dated.
Okay.
You do.
Okay.
I've never dated any interns.
You do
Okay.
make passes at them at
Okay.
least.
Yeah.
Some people might consider these things passes, but I'm just being friendly.
Does that mean Spencer cannot date Jen?
He could not date Jen.
Nope.
Since he was after his internship, he could date Jen, but
Right.
as an intern,
Now
Nope.
here's my question.
Yeah.
If Jen was an intern, could they date? Are they
Can
free to
interns
date?
interns?
yes, interns can
That
date. interns.
surprises me because I think that we try to take the dating out.
I mean, I think it would be a fair rule.
yeah.
I think it would be fair.
if interns couldn't date,
Don't you think that that's a little classist, though? It's like saying, like, we don't want you to mingle.
no, it is. They worry about the power. That's what that concerns them.
Right.
That the intern wouldn't feel comfortable turning down a date with an associate producer.
I understand. It's not related to the badge color.
Yeah.
They're like, you must date people who have the same badge color as you.
No, I get it. Now, Spencer walked in the shower on Jen. Just walked in. Jen was
What?
taking a shower.
That's true, Spencer?
Yeah. And that was at her house. He went all the way to Jersey.
OMG. That is so not true.
I like OMG. I'm going to use that.
OMG, that is so not true.
Hey, Red, what's up, buddy?
Ron, I don't know who to turn to. You're all-knowing.
It does seem like that.
You remember the candies that we now have to call licorice babies?
Yes.
So where do jujubes fall into that? Is that racist, and do we need to drop that name?
Like a jujube?
Yeah, I never have been in a situation where I ate any of that candy at all. I've heard the term. Chris, do you have a picture of it?
I'm pretty sure a jujube is J-U. And so
Yeah.
therefore, I feel like we're still okay. You just looked at the drag queen called Jujube. I just saw Jujube.
He's always going for that. Chris, I take it you showing up on TV didn't happen talking about the heat?
I kept looking on Fox News' YouTube channel where I showed up before, but no, they never even went to there isn't even a story about the heat on the fucking channel. So I don't know what they did with that footage because it was gold. I would have let the people know around the fucking country just how hot it was in New York City. I mean, I was pouring sweat out there. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And now I don't even know how to spell jujube. Bead or whatever it is.
B. Jujube.
Jujube.
Candy. Just look up the candy Jujubes.
All right. Adrian said, I got a lap dance from Laverne Cox at my bachelorette party. She worked at Lucky Chang's back then. It was pretty amazing.
Oh, wow.
Is Lucky Chang still around?
I believe Lucky Chang's is still around, and they do like
Lower
drag
East Side?
shows
Yeah.
and I think they have like a drag brunch show that they do.
It's still around.
Yeah.
Wait, you just looked that up and said Jujube?
I got jujubes too. They look disgusting.
Why don't we take a break here, kids? Coming up a little later on in the show, we got some rock stars, Chris. That's definitely happened, yes or no?
Definitely happening, 100%.
Lindsay Buckingham, Christine McVey, brand new album together.
So exciting.
They have teamed up and they're not allowing in the other members of the band. We're starting this off with Ring.
Yes, Ring.
Ring's mission is to make neighborhoods safer. Today, over 1 million people use the amazing Ring video doorbell to help protect their homes. Ring knows home security begins at the front door, but it doesn't end there. So now they're extending that same level of security to the rest of your home with the Ring Floodlight Cam. Just like the Ring Amazing Doorbell, Floodlight Cam is a motion activated camera and floodlight that connects right to your phone with HD video and two-way audio that lets you know the moment anyone steps on your property.
See and speak to visitors, even set off an alarm right from your phone. With Ring's Floodlight Cam, when things go bump in the night, you'll immediately know what it is. Whether you're home or away, the Ring Floodlight Cam lets you keep an eye on your home from anywhere. Ring Floodlight offers the ultimate in home security with high visibility floodlights and a powerful HD camera that puts security in your hands. With Ring, you're always home. Save up to $150 off of a Ring security kit when you go to ring.com/comedy. Ring.com/comedy. That's ring.com/comedy.
Bennington Show on a Wednesday. Is that right? Is that Wednesday?
It is.
I got up too early today, so I'm going to be confused for the rest of the week. I got up what I considered adult time today, and I can't do that. I need to sleep very late, according to my doctor. Hey, Tom in New York, what's up?
Hey, Benningtons.
Hey.
Ron, I had a question all my life, and maybe you can answer it for me. Why is it that people say the Jewish race? Caucasian is a race, Asian is a race, Jewish is a religion. It's not a race.
Well, first of all, I don't really, I think we even make up the fact that Caucasian is a race. I don't know whether you can scientifically say what is a race. Legally,
that's a legal definition, when on your license and stuff.
Yeah, because it's a legal definition, I don't, like Jen, you're 3 different races, right?
Yeah.
What race do you put down?
Trinidad. Or, you mean like when I check?
Yeah, when you check a box.
I always say either 2 races or more.
So you never pick a race for yourself?
I don't pick a race. My mom is always like, just put like African American. I'm like, but that's not what I am. It's
right. But that will help you sometimes.
Is there a
jobs?
Is there a box that says blackish?
Now, the Jews, if you think about it, they may be somewhat of a race because they didn't. Like when they were in Russia or they were in Poland, they actually didn't mix with those people.
Right.
You know what I mean? They stayed self-contained.
I think that's why we tend to behave as though Jewish is a race, even though it is a religion, is because there is such a culture that is associated with it.
Beyond religion.
Yeah, that is beyond religion, that has to do with food, community, like the way they're like social constructs.
Yes.
and their personality and in a way that you could say more so than just Catholic. Like Catholic being Spanish, being Italian,
right,
being Irish is less so definitive as a culture the way Jewish is.
No, I would agree 100%. And also, like you said, just because you're Catholic, if someone said, "Oh, he looks like a Catholic," you couldn't say that.
Right.
But you do say someone looks Jewish.
Right.
Now, also, the ways that you used to know race or even ethnic backgrounds is that they would pick a neighborhood, let's say in New York City or Chicago, But now we're finding comedians are all picking Astoria,
Yes.
which used to be Greek and is now more comedy based.
Do you think that the Greeks are saying around like, this neighborhood used to be nice, but all comics now? It's all comics.
I don't think they'll say it out loud because they'll look like the racist that they are. Now, the funny thing about Astoria being so comedy based is there's not a lot of comedy shows in Astoria.
No.
They have to go outside their own neighborhood to work.
I would say 9 times out of 10 when I am talking to a comedian,
Yeah.
they'll ask me where I live. I ask them where they live, and they say Astoria, Queens. And I go, oh, yes, of course.
Now, you know, we used to say Hell's Kitchen, and that was an Irish neighborhood. And then when it stopped being an Irish neighborhood, people stopped calling it Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. And then there were neighborhoods in like kind of Park Slope, Windsor Terrace, Brooklyn also used to be Irish neighborhoods. And now they've just like, they're kind of just like family neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like there's some left over, but mostly that's because it was a fireman neighborhood or a cop neighborhood.
Yeah, we still have some of those.
Yeah.
Where it's a cop neighborhood, which is the same
Yeah.
as, say, an Irish neighborhood. By the way, remember, Jim, when I asked you where your canoodling was spotted yesterday? Right around the corner from me.
Was it?
Yeah. I could have went over there and canoodled.
You could have been on a double date.
I could have been the third canoodler.
Dish right there.
What's that?
That's some dish right there.
Thank you, Chris. Maybe Chris should run Dish one day where
What he comes up with.
I'll find some dish out
I
there.
don't think that you're a big gossiper.
I'm not, but I'll find something. I'll find something.
Is there any dish that sticks out today, Jen? Is there anything even dishy?
I have a couple. I mean, for me, I think they're pretty dishy.
All right, let me hear it. Let me hear one.
Okay. Well, one of them, I'm obsessed with Rihanna. So finally,
I
Chris
never
Brown
am.
has revealed what happened that night in the car.
Oh, that is quite a dish.
He said he beat her with the heel of his shoe.
No. He like basically like runs down what happened. Like it was kind of something that was leading up to that night. And I've always wondered what really happened in the car.
Well,
that
what
night.
happened?
Well, he allegedly was cheating on her. Like, okay, so he hooked up with this girl and he was denying it to Rihanna. And then Rihanna ended up finding out from text messages. So then she confronted him and he lied about it. And then he eventually like fessed up and said, okay, fine, I did hook up with this girl once. And then at the Grammys, which is, you know, before the car fight took place, he, I guess at the Grammys, the girl came up to him and she said hi, and like in front of Rihanna. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like,
So he's basically saying it was Rihanna's fault.
no,
She was acted up, so he had to beat Rihanna.
no, it was. I mean, he didn't really say whose fault that it was. He said prior to like the car fight, they've had like big altercations where they both have had bruises and they've had to like cover it up to the press.
First of all, he's blaming Rihanna. We both have bruises. I don't complain. But I've had to cover up some bruises.
Yeah, but like, what are the bruises like? Because I fucking saw Rihanna's bruises, and she was fucked up. He didn't. He didn't
She
give her
looked
a
like
smack.
she fucking lost the fight to Roberto Duran.
I know.
She didn't have like a little welt on her arm where he grabbed her hard.
Exactly. It didn't look like, yeah, I pushed her, but what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? It looked like he fucked her up.
It looked like he left her for dead. Like he hit her with
Yeah.
a fucking tombstone and then went out and tried to fucking say to his friends, "Say I was here all night."
She looked like Alabama Whirly.
She was just sitting there with a fucking corkscrew. So you seem like, even by saying these things that you're saying, Jen, you're siding with a Mr. Chris Brown.
No, I am not on his side. I'm always on Rihanna's side.
She is the world's biggest Rihanna fan.
You know, I met Chris Brown up here once in the hall, and because he had a new album coming out. And I'm just walking down the hall, and he goes like this, Chris Brown, we're dropping and he says the name of the album when they're dropping. And he just grabs my arm, and I'm like, I don't play music, dude. He just fucking kept walking. But he was like going out of his way.
Yeah, trying to sell himself.
Introduce people to people that would want to drop his new album.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because after that car fight, he just went downhill. Like, he had this huge time where like nobody was buying any of his albums.
I don't know why it didn't go on longer. I don't know. It's like, it seemed so quick that everyone's like, oh, he's at the VMAs. Oh, he's performing. Did you see his Grammy performance? I was like, you mean the guy who fucked up Rihanna?
Yeah, but he was performing with rubber bands attached to his ass and was bouncing around. I give him credits for that. Who's coming through here, Chris? These look like big stars to me. Yeah, these are big giant stars.
We'll find out.
All right, give me. I don't care. Give me another dish.
So you remember how Scott Disick went to south of France with all of his no, but it's actually the girl tells this, like Bella Thorne told her side of the
Bella
story.
Abzug?
Who?
That was that old political person from the 1960s. That was hilarious. So what does Bella say?
She said that she met Scott at one of her house parties. Like she said, I throw these like huge house parties, and I've seen them on Snapchat, and they're like all people her age.
Yeah.
So, I guess like French Montana, another rapper, he came up to her and was like,
"Do you want to meet Scott Disick?"
Yeah. I mean, not do you want to? He just brought Scott with him because French used to date Khloe Kardashian. So I guess he asked Bella like, "Oh, like whenever your next house party is, I'll come." So he brings Scott. I guess they hit it off, and then they just start going out to the clubs, and then he invites her to the south of France. And then she said that when she was in south of France, like she said that she doesn't drink. He drinks a lot. And then she said that he's a hardcore partier. And then when she saw that, she had to like immediately leave the south of France because it was just like too much for her.
Too fucked up.
Yeah, he gets like, she's like, I like to party, but that was like too much.
And doesn't she get all messed up on her fucking Snapchat? I've seen some of her
That's
Snapchats.
what I'm saying.
It's whacked.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if he's doing the most, like if she's scared of Scott Disick's partying, then that's scary. He must be doing some intense stuff.
Oh boy, Scott, what are you getting into this youngster's world?
I know. I just can't believe she talked about him. I don't feel like she should have done that. I feel like she should have kept their private life private.
Why?
Because
this is what's best
she's
for
gonna
her.
end up like Rihanna.
They gave her the Chris Brown beat down.
I think she got upset because after she left, she saw all these other girls, and it made her look like, oh, you're just one of the girls that I'm hooking up with.
You're
and she thought she was more
pig
special.
in my fucking line of pigs.
Slop farm.
Chris just used the term slop farm. That's how he goes to pick up women. He goes, let's go to the slop farm and see what's happening right now. That's fucking misogynistic, what you're saying.
I'm not. I love women. I'm not being a misogynist.
You said slop farm, and you said, what's some slop, and you pointed at your balls.
Oh my god.
He says he's got a sack of slop. They are fucking putting this shooter on TV, his mug. I thought we went out of our way not to make these people more popular for what they were.
They always do.
Now,
And then we delve into their backstory. And they
first of all, I don't know how you make it to 66 without doing anything crazy. And at age 66, you shoot somebody.
Yeah. That's
Shoot
really...
a fucking stranger on the street. Now, all right. What's the girl who jumped from Fox to NBC?
Megyn Kelly.
All right. Because I wanted to say Megan Fox.
Right.
She worked at Fox.
Right.
But I know in my
Done
brain
that.
I was wrong. So I go like this. Well, then I don't know either name. I did. I knew Megan. So, where's Vito walking with those tiny steps? Like, look at that.
What's that walk?
Like a ballet dancer.
Like
So, people are furious with her because she is shining a light. She's having the nut, Alex Jones, on her show. And because he's been a conspiracy nut, everyone's crazy, angry, and they want her pulled off the air. They want her done at NBC. And I'm like, I thought one of the main things was we put nuts on TV.
Right.
To hear, like I've seen Charlie Manson on TV a million fucking times.
Right.
We put nuts on TV. Why are people mad at her? Do they actually think that Alex Jones will have more fucking fans if he's on TV talking about himself?
I'm not sure that whole thing of the media's responsibility to the American people. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that the idea was...
This one makes people furious because he said those kids either A, weren't murdered,
right,
or B, it was a set-up murder. And the parents of the kids, they
Right.
just get crazy. I get that, but then you could say, how dare you put any killer on TV? And by the way, Alex Jones didn't kill anybody.
No.
You know what I mean? But we've seen killers on TV. I saw the Iceman on a documentary for an hour.
But as somebody who interviews people,
Yes.
would you not interview someone like Alex Jones just to find out why the fuck he thinks what he thinks without...
Why wouldn't I? Of
Yeah.
course. Particularly, I mean, the stuff that we do is less news-based than that. But if I had a person that they said, would you want to interview this person? I thought what they did, whether I agreed with it or not, I'm saying what you're saying is, would I have Alex Jones on the phone on the show? Yeah, I probably would.
Right.
And yes, it is interesting to find out how people got to where they are in that thinking. I mean, I had people from Westboro Baptist on, and we fucking fell out having a great time.
Yeah.
Laughing about how crazy. And then I had people get mad at me for that.
For giving them like a platform to speak.
Yeah, because, and also for thinking it was so damn funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
just,
but she had the kids singing and everything.
I just found them to be maniac funny. I don't know how you can't laugh at them.
Right.
You know? I don't know how you can't laugh at the Westboro Baptist Church. Because, first of all, I think they accomplished zero.
No.
Like, I don't think they got a single person to join their church.
Yeah, nobody like signed up after seeing what they do. And their platform is so weak because they are trolls. Like, they are a religion of trolls.
There are people, and the New York Post did this, and it's maybe a much more of, maybe it should be talked about. But when Tom Cruise gets interviewed, they're going, why aren't you asking him about Scientology? And a lot of times you could go, yeah, anybody who doesn't do that is a pussy. But if I interview a Jewish person about their movie or a Catholic person about their movie, and I don't bring up Palestine or raped fucking kids, is that, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I had John Travolta on to talk about Pulp Fiction, if I would ever go, before we get to that, what in the H-E double hockey sticks is happening with this loony, L. Ron Hubbard? And that's what the loony stands for. I can't imagine that I would do that or care about that.
Right. That you're just going to see for the project, or what you find interesting about the person. I mean, maybe what you find interesting about the person is what their politics or their religion is, but that would be the basis of the interview.
But I think if I had Tom Cruise on to talk about the Mummy, I think it would almost be weird for me to go, what's going on with the nut fucking religious? Because I kind of see almost all religions as being nuts. And by the way, I see atheists as being nuts as well.
They can be just as pushy, I know that.
But even beyond that, just to say I've seen enough of the world that I have an answer, you know, I kind of feel like agnostic is the only thing you can fairly be sure of. I have no idea.
Yeah, because agnostics are saying, like, look, I'm not an expert on this. That's all you're admitting.
First of all, everyone says that science is, I still don't understand how we stick to this rock. I mean, I know I've been taught gravity a couple times, and I know it's the weight into time and space. But that doesn't even make sense to me.
Right.
I think it's too much. So I don't know what I mean, I can't imagine. I'll say this for Megan. Does she have a right to have fucking Alex Jones on the show? And say, dude, what are you talking about? Yeah, why not? How could you get that mad at her? They already want to push her off MSNBC NBC.
Now, having someone on as a guest and then also is one thing, because I think anybody has, if you want to do that interview, but there can be things like I've seen situations where somebody has someone on and you don't have to press them, but I'm thinking of who was the guy that Bill Maher had on, and he's just
Milo?
He's just, again, he's like a troll. He's like the little gay troll. He was like, I just felt like he didn't have to press him on why he believes what he believes and whatever. But I also just felt like, why is he being like overtly accommodating to him?
Maybe he likes him.
Yeah.
Maybe he likes him. Maybe he likes what he does. Because Mara's kind of a troll too. Mara always got along with that blonde lady.
Coulter?
Yeah, Ann Coulter. Supposedly, Ann Coulter, and Jimmy J.J. Walker all stayed in the same hotel room. I made that up. But, maybe that's the kind of people that he likes. Some people think that people that are just crazy like that are good TV. Like, I'd have that guy on anytime and fight with him.
Right.
Because that's good TV. Some people think fighting and screaming is good TV because your ratings will be better if you do that. As you go, I'm going to watch that show, somebody's going to get screamed at.
Yeah, I think he's actually already even asked him back, so that's probably in the next week or two.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Milo's coming
back?
Yeah, because Milo, I think, had the number one book on when he self-released the book deal he lost, like Simon & Schuster, he self-released, and it was the number one book on Amazon. So he's still pushing the book.
What does that even mean, though?
I don't know. I think, is it like the New York Times bestsellers list?
No, it's nothing. It's Amazon. That's not saying anything to me.
It's the number one book delivered by drones.
Why don't you tell me what the number one vacuum cleaner is on Amazon?
Well, I guess a Dyson.
Oh, FBI is looking into the shooter's antisocial rants. And that's always like, why didn't we catch this guy? He said bad things on the internet, like most fucking people.
Oh my God. I mean, if we were using that, a good 50%, I think, should be on a watch list then.
Anybody who writes to me is probably a lunatic.
The amount of times I get fat shamed, they'd all be on the goddamn list.
There is some truth to that.
You do get fat shamed.
I don't need any more shame in my life.
Yeah, he has no shame. Don't make him feel shame.
Thank you.
He enjoys his body.
Yeah, it's a wonderland.
He doesn't want to change his shirt. That's up to him. That's his choice.
So what? There's a wing stain on the shirt.
So what? You wore it yesterday. Doesn't matter. Don't shame him for it.
Matt, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I was wondering why people weren't outraged that Megyn Kelly interviewed Putin last week. Murderer, killer, terrorist.
There was only one person that was outraged. It was Oliver Stone because he has his own Putin thing coming up. I think that's on this week.
Yeah, Showtime.
I'm taping it, but I haven't watched even a moment of it.
I think the one has been on so far.
Yeah, it's a three-part series.
Yeah, 3 or 4 parts. On
Same as Zito on our show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like every day,
very similar,
different blues number. But yes, it's a very good point that Matt made. If you're saying, I mean, why would you just want to see interviews of people that you agree with? Here's a guy I like. He thinks just like me. He wants to see the Eagles trade. But most people are, I guess a lot of people do like to see people like them.
Yes, and the point, it's a fair point too, is there here's a person who thinks something that the rest of us might find incredibly offensive, but that's a thought that he has, versus a person who has blood on his hands from actions and decisions that he has made.
Now, neither one of you guys sees yourself as traditional, right?
No.
Isn't there any traditions that maybe you miss or maybe you feel like aren't as good as they used to be? I mean, I'm going to immediately say I miss Halloween being a children's fucking holiday.
Right.
I miss the fact that little kids would be happy, and now they don't go trick-or-treating, but adults do.
Right.
That bothers me.
It's a bar night, and that's what you don't like.
I don't like a bar night. No. And I miss that tradition of, boy, all the kids are going out to get candy, because now they're afraid to get candy.
Right. Because there's so many drunks on the street
Let's go to
dressed
stores.
up in sexy costumes.
Chris, do you have a tradition that you miss?
I kind of miss when my dad would.
This is so sad.
No, this is going to make me cry.
Yeah.
All right, so it kind of came up
don't
the other
say
day of kids playing baseball because I played in a field. It was a concrete field, but I played baseball every single day with my dad and the kids in my neighborhood. And
Why did you play with your dad?
He didn't work.
Why would your dad play baseball
with your friends?
Dude, he was like the coach of the fucking local team.
It isn't Sandlot if there's a coach.
It was weird. It wasn't traditional.
It wasn't tradition, and that's the tradition that you miss. Here's a traditional person. Maybe they missed something. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have thought it. Crazy Jen, who is it that you miss?
Hey, you know what? I miss you. I miss our tradition of sitting around and just shooting the shit.
That never happened.
Yeah, it did. It did. In my head, in my mind.
Yes.
But Ronnie, listen, because you know I live by D.C., right?
Yes.
So I've been going to like these conferences, and I got some information on this Megan Fox.
Okay.
Now this situation isn't what you think it is. Now, you think that...
By the way, Megan Fox is the actress.
No. The anchor that's getting fired.
Megan Kelly, and she's not getting fired, but go ahead.
No. But, okay, I'm going to start with this statement. Mm-hmm. You don't pay a prostitute to talk, okay?
She's a whore.
You pay to fuck her.
Okay. You didn't even need to tell us that part.
Now I know how it works.
Wait. The news companies are being paid by the advertising, the Coca-Colas, the Tides, or whatever, and they decide who's on the air. So whatever she's saying, if they don't agree with it, you're out.
So what you're saying is this is capitalism.
It's all capitalism.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, you don't have to.
I was listening to that guy Cirque from the Young Turks speak.
Yeah.
And he said that they would get pissed off at these newscasters, and they wouldn't break their contract. He said they would make them put their office in a broom closet. And then they would go to the other newscasters and say, see, you want this shit to happen to you? Then you say shit on the air that we don't like. There's conspiracies, Ronnie. There's things that's going out in the world.
Look, they
don't even want to talk about.
Yes, it is
Go ahead.
It's a well-known fact that if you want to be a newscasting, it's better to be very popular and not unpopular.
No, not even popular. You need to be agreeable, because worse than killing you, they will stick you in a broom closet.
I don't know what Cirque said or why he says that, but I guarantee you no one put Walter Cronkite into a broom closet.
Yeah, they did. They did. It's all this is the shit that they don't like. It's Coca-Cola and Tide and all these places.
What year is
are
this?
owned by one company.
Tide. No, they are not owned by one company.
Yeah, maybe two. But it's owned by two companies, and they own everything in the world. And like conspiracy theorists, they're made to look crazy because they don't want you to know the information.
Do you think that you're a conspiracy theorist?
I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
But you do look crazy. You look like a lunatic.
No, but I'll tell you shit. Like in the area that I live in Frederick, Maryland, they're making a movie with Mel Gibson in it. Because they've been dropping Agent Orange, and then they got Aaron Brockovich, because all these people were dying from cancer.
First of all, let's stop for a second. Why would they drop Agent Orange into Frederick, Maryland? They did that during the Vietnam War.
Yeah, no, but they had to test the Agent Orange.
Yeah.
So to test it, they were dropping it in Fort Detrick in Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah.
Well, the Agent Orange got in the water system.
Yeah.
And it killed thousands of people all around. The people started getting deformed. Ron, there's this. I'm afraid to tell you this stuff because the people might come after me and stuff. I'm looking down the street now.
All right,
but this man, he told me that he was going hunting out there, and he saw an inside-out deer. Like the skin was on the outside.
Can I just say something to you?
No,
I heard about an inside-out deer when I was a little kid. This is urban myth.
No, it's not.
Why would the guts on a deer be on the outside?
Because they do medical treatments. Do you remember about that Ebola virus with that monkey that got out and killed everybody, turned them into zombies?
That never happened.
Yeah, that happened in Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah, you're acting like Frederick, Maryland is the epicenter for every bad thing that happens.
Ronnie, I'm telling you, it's like Twin Peaks. They don't talk about Frederick, Maryland.
It's like the town in Stranger Things. She's in the upside down right now.
Yeah.
No, for real. It's off the chain.
There's no off the chain. Look,
if is off the chain. Camp Dave is like a couple miles from here, and we got the underground White House. Like, if something happens to Trump, you know they ain't gonna kill cockroaches and shit.
Can I tell you something? Trump has never even been to Camp David. So, I mean, he spends the weekends in Jersey. So
not what? Look, you know, because he got to hang out with Chris Christie and shit.
All right, let me tell you this. This Trump did over the weekend is so he was at his Jersey club, and there was a wedding there. I don't know what you got to pay, but Trump stops by and he gives good word to the bride and to the groom.
Classy.
And on the brochure, it said, if the president is in the area, he'll most likely stop by to say hi. As they're renting these wedding, I don't know what a wedding costs at this Trump golf course.
Oh my God.
Hey, can I give you some inside information? No, but before Chris Christie lost all that weight, right? He was doing the school tours, right? Mm-hmm. And he stood up in front of the class of a bunch of third graders, and he said, "Does anybody have any questions?" And the little boy raised his hand, and he said, "Yes." And he says, "I want to know how that helicopter holds all that weight."
That just never happened.
I kid you not. They don't talk about that stuff, Ronnie. I got the scoop, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're telling us the stuff people don't talk about.
They don't talk about. You remember when Chris Christie was going to get into it at the Jersey Shore because that guy was heckling him?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yes, they talk about it. They talk about all the things.
Yeah, but that him and Trump, it's all conspiracy, man. It's like the world put on sweatpants and said, "Fuck it."
All right, I don't know if that's true, but all right, Jen.
That's what I'm saying.
You keep your ear to the ground. Find out what all the conspiracies are.
All right, I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna look for the people because you know the men in black are around here.
All right, talk to you later.
Not the black men, just the men in black.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, I'll see you later, buddy.
All right, see you later, buddy.
Do you realize we just experienced like a bizarro world Let's Dish instead of regular Janet's Crazy Jen's Let's Dish?
I didn't even think of that, but this is
a new segment where she tells you all the conspiracies, Ronnie, everything they got inside out there by the side of the road. They're dropping Agent Orange on Merlin.
She really did. She really does have all that stuff. But the Inside Out Deer was fucking hilarious.
I believe her, though.
I think, I swear to God, I heard something about that when I was a kid.
Really? Isn't that a chupacabra?
No, that's not a chupacabra. Francis, Long Island.
Buddies, love you. I saw something on the TV about Chichester, and it rang my ear because I knew that's your stomping ground.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy theory about this mass grave of Irishmen or Irish railway workers in the beginning of the century that were buried. I figured I'd run it by you. You'd be the foremost sorry.
They always said that when the Irish people or the Chinese would finish certain parts of the transcontinental railroads, that they would just fucking whack them rather than give them a ride back. I don't know if Chichester was far enough. Just not to let them walk on their own.
Right.
They all got one-way tickets?
Yeah, that basically was like that. And let me see. I'm going to go to Chichester Mass Grave and see if we can get anything.
I just didn't know if this was stories from Ronnie's youth or if it was something that was real.
No, I've never heard that before. I know... maybe you were thinking of Chichester in England.
No, it was Irishmen in PA.
All right, I'm going to look into that a little bit, but I haven't heard of it. I'll check with Crazy Jen. She runs down most of the conspiracy. Like she says, people aren't talking about this shit. And a lot of times they're not talking about it because it doesn't exist.
I found something called Duffy's Cut. It's about a mass grave of Irishmen right off of the main line.
Well, it's far from Chichester.
Yeah.
Send me that, though. I want to know about it.
Very main line, though. It's a very fancy mass grave.
Jeremy in Orange County.
Hi, yeah, there's a lot of people down here that are saying that Trump's a lizard.
Every once in a while they'll say that somebody's a lizard because they think of the aliens as lizard people.
Also, that
That's
TV
what
show V.
we have actual shops down here that are like dedicated to handing out business cards and T-shirts and saying that they'll get rid of lizard people in your life for a small fee. They'll hunt them down.
It's illegal, highly illegal.
They're lizard people, though.
I'll tell you what, charge as much as you want with Crazy Jen because she'll probably pay. She will probably pay.
We gotta get rid of these lizard people, Ronnie.
That really makes me nervous because it sounds just like her. I miss the way you and I used to sit around and shoot the shit. It would never happen once. Chris, as long as you've known me, I'm not shot the shit with you.
Not once.
Or anyone that you've ever seen.
Yeah, but with Crazy Jen, yeah.
I have to be paid to shoot shit.
You don't pay a whore to talk. You pay him to fuck, Ronnie.
What did that even mean?
I don't know where that came from.
And that she felt like it was a drop the mic moment. And we all know what you
She's
pay
like,
for.
pause for laughter,
Yeah.
and then I'll jump back in.
Yeah. We all know why you pay a prostitute. You don't have to be as Stanley blunt. Here's Matt in Atlanta.
Hey, Bennington. First time caller.
Thanks, man.
Hey, I don't know if I have any echo going on right now. I apologize if I do.
No, you sound fine.
Okay, awesome. This is more of a complaint more than anything. I'm just really kind of sad about the fact that kids can't go around and trick or treat anymore because basically the parents are so overprotective so that they have to now organize these really lame trunk or treat events.
Terrible.
Yeah,
where it kills all the fun of Halloween.
I've also heard that there's never been. Yeah. I've also heard that there's never been the occasion that somebody bit down on a razor blade. That is more urban myth. That there's never been LSD because they just find the people too easily.
I mean, I remember my mom always checking my candy when I came home from trick or treating, but also like. It was like a thing where she would be checking the candy, and I'm like, is everything okay? And she'd be like, they tell you to do this.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, this has never been a thing. But I'll be a monster if I don't check your candy, because all the other moms are checking.
I mean, I wasn't the best father. We'll probably end up learning about that during the Father's Day special that we're doing, Comedy Dads. But I would check the Reese's cups for you guys. I would bite into each of your Reese's cups to make sure that they were safe.
Please stop doing that.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think roll the dice, let the kids get out there and try stuff. And I brought this up before, and it's a sad story. But one year, I had opened up a pack of razors at Halloween that I had been given. And when I went to shave, some lunatic had put apple in it. And it ended up being apple all over my face. And the freshness and appley goodness of that made me think, you know what? Maybe I've learned something today, as a lizard person.
And you're like, now this is a new American tradition.
Mm-hmm. I remember that there was always these lies that older kids were grabbing bags to stay together. 8 bags got grabbed by some kids, and they got punched in the face. They had to get stitches.
Because they didn't want to do the work of knocking on the doors.
But that was part of the excitement and fear of Halloween.
Oh, yeah. It was very intense.
Yeah.
It was exciting. It was dark out. There were teenagers.
I was told large minorities had come into our town and were punching kids and taking their bags. So we had to stick together.
That's just how they celebrate, I guess.
I don't know. I didn't ask. I wasn't curious about what other people did. I don't have a name here, so I'm just going to say, hello, stranger. How are you? You're on the airwaves.
Hey, Ronnie, it's Chuck.
Hey, Chuck. What's up?
Listen, that girl might be onto something up there around, was it Fredericksburg, she said?
Frederick, yeah, Maryland.
Yeah. My granddaddy used to tell me he knew a man up there that was born with 2 dicks.
Okay.
And he could jack off with both hands at the same time. Now, that's what I was always told.
Yeah, well,
so that could be Agent Orange.
Yeah, that's from the Agent Orange.
Well, all right, man. I was always told that. I didn't know whether he's lying to me or not.
No, everything you heard was true. People don't want to talk about it, though. People do not want to talk about it.
I ain't scared. I ain't scared. Keep that fucking Chris straight. He sounds like he's out of control.
Yeah, he is. He's off the goddamn rails. Thank you.
There was also that dude on Reddit who had 2 dicks, who was like the number one fucking.
Oh, I remember that guy now. Yeah,
he put out a self-published book like Milo on Amazon. I should.
He
buy
had
it.
2 dicks.
2 working dicks.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Side to side or up and down?
I believe there's pictures. I believe they're side to side.
See, that seems worse. Up and down doesn't seem so bad.
Why? Because you get 2 holes.
Like, yeah, you can take care of
smaller.
business.
Yeah.
Side to side just seems like you can't do shit.
Well, this woman the other night at the stand, and I'll be there this weekend. By the way, this is kind of if you want to come into New York City and see comedy, this is where a lot of people who live in New York City will go on vacation now. So it's open. Because the most comedy clubs, the big name ones, are sold out all weekend long for the entire year until you get to when it starts to get a little warm out. And that's the time that the tourists should come in. But Friday and Saturday I'll be there. But a woman was telling me the other night that they're making such great progress with dildos. And I'm like, what do you have? That's so great. And she claims that there was like a spinning ring on the end of it that had like beads on it. And I'm like, you mean like a man's penis where we just have a ring of beads that spins? Like you're kind of ruining yourself for sexual intercourse after that. That scared the shit out of me. A woman won't probably look like BL. If we had
dear God
2 nuts in the same day.
She's on EW?
What is it? What are you trying to say to me, Chris? What have you looked up?
Oh, who's going to be the stand this week?
What's going to be on the stand? Just say it.
Did you say Hulu?
Dan Soder, Rich
Hulu
Voss,
gonna be at the stand.
Ron Bennington, Greg Fitzsimmons, Keith Robinson, Bonnie McFarlane, and more.
Ooh,
Jesus,
nice.
That's a great show. That's both nights?
That's Friday night. Saturday night is... it's also Chris DiStefano, Tim Dillon, Sean Patton, Keith Robinson, Rich Voss.
That's none of the same names.
No, it is not. And Ron Bennington on Saturday.
All right. Well,
I love all those guys.
Yeah.
The stand.
So
NYC.
Bonnie's the only woman working this weekend.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Sexist.
Yeah. We're getting less women working. I noticed that lately. I guess it's become a guys' club. You know.
I'm gonna go down there.
Go down there.
Excuse me.
Where the hell are the women then?
As a woman, I have something to say.
As a woman and a Jew, I demand to see Jewish women. Wherever I go should be a reflection of me.
I want to turn on my TV. Me. I want to turn on my radio. Me. Everywhere.
Actually, that's what it is like to be a white guy.
I know. What does it feel like?
It's fucking amazing.
Comforting.
It's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about
like being a Beatle when you're a white guy.
When I was in this car accident today, I was thinking about the thing you said about how white men immediately try to take control of the situation.
We want to be in control,
It's
yes.
a 4-car pileup. There was one white male involved. He's hopping out of the car like, who's in charge here? Let's get this figured out. Okay, everyone get out of the car. I'm in the back seat like, I'm not getting out of the car for you, dude. I'm in the middle of the highway. He's like, well, we need to discuss this. I think maybe we should put together all of our ideas. I'm getting quotes from everyone. He's taking pictures. I was like, relax, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a passenger. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here.
See,
and like immediately the cop is like, once the cop showed up,
Was
he's
he
like,
a white guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then
He was.
let another white guy take over the white guy in charge.
Right.
Now, could it be part of a white guy's DNA to feel like this situation will be better with me in charge? It's not as
I don't know if it's DNA, but it's got to be from you learn that socially in the world. Like, I think it's more nurture than nature.
And by the way, I don't know whether I feel like it's definitely English guys are that way. I don't know if all white guys are that way.
Right.
Like, I think if there's an English guy, he's like, I've got it, mate. Here's what we're going to do. They consider themselves great military minds and great engineers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think white guys think of themselves as great managers.
Right.
Like, if you look at basketball, fucking 8 unbelievable black guys, tall, fast, strong, and then a middle-aged to older white guy going, look, I can turn you guys into champions.
And a very nice
what I mean?
suit jacket.
I'm able to turn you into champions using what? My mind. The superpowers in my mind. It's funny, though. You would think there would be a tall, older black guy who said, I've done this for a long time. Now my knees hurt, so I'm going to sit here and tell you guys what we did.
They won't give it to Patrick Ewing. He can't even get.
He doesn't even get a chance.
It's unbelievable.
The great Lou Alcindor said, "Give me a chance. I'll do it." And they're like, "No." He said, "I'll do it for free." And they go, "Mm-mm.
No.
We really need an older, kind of balding white guy in a baggy suit. He'll have a little fucking thing to draw X's and O's
Little
on.
clipboard.
Yeah, all you big athletes come around me right now. I got a great idea. You run over there. You down there. That's going to leave you open over there. All right. Worship me.
A lot of this is just going to happen in the moment. I mean, we're going to do the best we can, but...
Hold on or I'll blow this whistle.
Oh, shit.
Guys, he has a whistle. We better listen to him.
You know, oh, by the way, there's a piece out now which could be the first. There's a young girl who could eventually, they think, become the first female football player.
Really?
She's a kicker. She's going into college now, and apparently she's got a hammer leg. It's like she's got a hammer for a leg. By the way, coming up in just a little bit from Fleetwood Mac, Christine McVey, Lindsay Buckingham. We're going to have them on the show. Gail, I know you're excited about this.
So excited. Trying to turn this day around for myself.
Yeah.
Because I was looking forward to this day so much.
Well, you're acting like you had a bad day, but there was a shooting in Washington, Gail. So
I realize.
Your little fender bender doesn't mean shit to us.
This was a serious pileup, you guys.
Take the flash off yourself and put it back on Washington. That's the news of the day. Second news of the day is Chris can't find my Tic Tacs.
What?
Yeah.
How was my accident not number 2? The Tic Tacs?
Yeah, they're...
Well, I didn't forget to tell you they were the orange kind.
Oh.
And there were a lot in there.
Yeah, there were a lot. They all tasted like baby aspirin.
It's a mostly full box. I guess it is a box of fucking Tic Tacs?
Bach. Singular box.
It's a Bach of Tin Tac.
Bach of Tic Tac. For that reason.
He said Tin Tac. By the way, someone tweeted to me, and I don't know if it's true,
sure it
but
is.
they said, can Chris stop doing the plug? Please have Gail do it. He keeps saying Potato Lane. I don't think it's true.
I heard a lot of people said that you said Potato Lane instead of Mateo Lane.
I said Mateo.
Potato Lane, it's in my ears and up my ass.
Potato Lane had me laughing all night when I saw that tweet.
Yes, there will be Potato Lane, and he will be performing at the State Comedy Club. Potato Lane, one night only. See him on Thursday night at Cackalads. Potato Lane. Standing with memory. What are you talking like that for?
I'm positive I said Mateo Lane, not Potato
Then
Lane.
last night he says to me, pass me the potato. I'm starving. Potato Lane.
They're the ones mishearing. I'm the one saying it correctly. I know
From
Mateo.
all over the fucking country.
I know
Oh
Mateo.
my God. It doesn't even matter if it's true or not. It really doesn't, because it's likely. That's the thing. I just thought whether he did or didn't, he could. He could say potato lane.
But I didn't.
Jersey City Joe has a spy report.
Spy report.
What do you got, Jersey City Joe?
We have another shooting on the day in San Francisco at a UPS warehouse.
Why would somebody shoot somebody at a UPS warehouse?
Bad service.
A lot of boxes,
you don't get
man.
bad service from UPS. They're the best.
2 dead is what San Francisco Gate's saying.
Christ.
Are any of them house whips? I gotta have a house whip or above. The shooter died. He was a 66-year-old man, and they said that he had a lot of anti-Trump social media rants. So I guess the thing there is, if you see somebody on social media and they do not like the president or what's going on right now, report them immediately.
Nothing sounds dangerous about that.
Yeah, report them. I am reporting Michael Ian Black as we start. And what's his name in the street who runs around? He's always fighting with people on social media.
Billy on the street, Billy
on
Eichner?
the street.
Yeah.
Billy on the street is basically in a Twitter fight daily.
He is. He is going hard. But, this was, do you remember the kid who was, he was one of the school shooters. I guess it was Virginia Tech. He was a I think he was a playwright.
He was an Asian kid.
Yeah. So this whole conversation came up about they should have known, and he wrote weird stuff.
He's like a manifesto, right? He was.
Yeah, but he was writing fiction.
Oh, okay.
And so there was a thing like, they should have come to the authorities when he was writing. And I was like, I was currently in a playwriting program thinking, there's 3 people in my program right now who exclusively write violent stuff. We'll put rape and violence and crazy. I'm like, well, what are we just supposed to report everyone who is entertained by violence?
Which is most Americans.
Yeah.
Most Americans are like, I want to see a movie where a lot of people get shot, and then I'll call it awesome. I saw some kids the other night that went to your old school, and they both said, we just finished a feature motion film.
Whoa.
I'm like, congratulations. And they did. And they went, and we did it for under $4,000.
Ow. That sounds insane.
I guess that none of the post-production is done.
Okay.
But I invited them to come in sometime and see some of the, town halls or a mess. What are we running this week, Chris?
Jim Gaffigan on Town Hall at 2 p.m. this Friday.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
really,
really good.
Really great one.
And that ties in perfectly for Father's Day. We're going to run the Father's Day special during our show.
Yes,
I think we should. I think it's a way of just giving a salute to Dan.
Yes.
And
it's Dan's Day in so many ways.
Chris has never done a special with us before.
That's not true.
Not one that ran so smoothly that we could just put it on, run soup to nuts, and that was it.
Yes, just riff, have a great time. Everything was set up for us. The studio was set up so nice.
Work was unbelievable. Levels were fantastic.
Yes, ice cold waters for us when we got in.
At the I know I get you guys waters at the very least.
By the way,
Tell someone
can I tell you what? They're not ice cold. A lot of times the ice melts.
Are they tepid?
Yeah, they are tepid.
This water is tepid.
Yeah. And the last time you gave me a cup, it had lipstick marks on it.
I think that was mine.
No, because these were ass lips.
That's what
so I know that
for,
they're
right?
Chris. Who are these rock stars living here?
Man, there's so
How
many
bad are
guests.
they in sniffing the tears?
Before that was Lady Antebellum. I'm not sure who these rock stars are.
Lady Antebellum.
Yeah.
Is that still happening?
I guess so.
In the world of country? I know they had a giant summer for themselves.
Yeah, they did.
Who's the biggest pop star right now, Jen?
Male or female? Or just in general?
I'll say male.
Ed Sheeran.
I'm not interested. Who's the biggest
Agreed.
female?
Female? I would say either Taylor Swift or Beyonce.
I should have just asked you 8 years ago. It's the same stuff. I like a new, fresh head of the house.
What about Harry Styles' new solo career?
Yeah, I like when
Interesting.
people go off and do some solo work. That's why I'm excited about Lindsay Buckingham coming here with Christine McVey. You leave the other 3 out. That makes me happy.
You like when someone's excluded.
Oh, I don't even think it's a party if everyone's been invited. I want to know somebody is out at all times. I don't want to know that everybody is welcome. That's disgusting to me. That's a party I shan't be going to.
Then your invitation feels like shit. You're like, well, why even bother
A
inviting me?
human? I'm just a fucking Homo sapien? Is that what you're telling me? Because that doesn't matter. I got to feel like I'm in the 1% of the 1% before I want to go to your party. I want to go to your party and be the only person there. That's how exclusive it is. TJ in New York City.
I'll see your spy report and raise you a spy report.
All right, spy report.
Spy report.
The shooter was a Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer.
So, do you see any connection there? You volunteer for campaigns, you end up shooting people?
He hate Trump. And Kathy Griffin is going to throw out the ball tomorrow for the game.
All right, first of all, hey, Trump wasn't there. So how could it be a Trump problem, an anti-Trump thing, if the guy didn't shoot at Trump?
True.
And I know they're blaming Kathy Griffin, and they're also blaming Snoop Dogg. I saw.
Yeah.
Thing went up. Snoop put in that thing that wasn't. The clown.
Right.
How quickly you forget where you're like, Snoop. Well, what? Gin and juice? This is a gin and juice tie-in?
Smoke weed every day for that one?
Smoke weed like every single day.
Can I tell you something? Tito's handmade vodka. It's America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beverage built his own micro distillery. He incorporated the boutique winery concept into the spirits industry. He acquired the first legal permit to distill in Texas. He put his life savings into it. He racked up an extra 19 credit cards, built his own copper pot stills and condensers. Since then, the world has been his oyster. 95 rating, wine enthusiast. Unanimous judge's choice, double gold medal. World Spirits Competition. Chairman's Trophy for Best Vodka Tonic. So many others. I'm not even going to go on to them all right now.
Tito's has a modest paper label on a simple bottle, so all you pay for is the exceptional handmade vodka inside. Tito still makes his vodka by hand on the same land where he started it all, Austin, Texas. Tito's handmade vodka is distilled 6 times from 100% corn and is naturally gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, songs, and more. 40% alcohol by volume, handcrafted to be savored responsibly.
Steve, West Palm Beach. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Cool.
Yeah, just saying in reference to Trump, or in reference to the shooting being related to Trump, I believe today is his birthday.
420, y'all. 420. So look that up. But Wikipedia, see if it's Trump's birthday.
It is Trump's birthday. June 14th.
Whose birthday?
I said Trump.
Please.
Trump.
It's Potato Lane's birthday.
I could buy President.
Potato Lane tomorrow night at Taco Lines.
I could buy President and Trump into one word.
President Pump is here.
But you notice I never yell at you. Faster, Chris. Say it faster.
I get information out there, man.
I feel no pressure to say things quickly.
Trump's birthday.
It's Trump's birthday, 14th.
Oh my God!
So maybe that was a little birthday present for Trump.
I don't think that Trump was even close with these guys.
He barely knows his cabinet. Why would he know anyone in Congress? What?
Come on,
what?
Chris. The last thing I need is hateful trolls.
The weird reaction of you saying that and then him being like, "What? What?" Like, why are you playing it like a little game? It was weird.
It's a sexy game. He likes to play with me. He's my sexy boy.
What is it? What did I do? I was bad. I said something bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we're going to have our guests with us. Yes, we will. Ron, who are they going to be?
It'll be Lindsay Buckingham and Christine McVey.
Their new album, Lindsay Buckingham, Christine McVey. That's coming up next. This is Bennington. Coming up in just a few moments, Christine McVey, Lindsay Buckingham, both from Fleetwood Mac. Brand new album out called
Lindsay Buckingham, Christine McVey.
Wonder how they decided who got to go first.
I don't know. They rolled some dice, I think.
I know one thing. They don't want an N in their name.
No.
So you're doing the...
Oh, I'm doing the plug?
Yes.
I'm very nervous about it because I know that it's a very tense thing. We don't want to mess up the plug. No and. Don't mess up. And no just Buckingham McVey. I know that's also.
No.
Okay.
Do not
I'm
say
nervous. This is, by the way, I just want you guys to know this is so huge for me. I am over the moon right now. I am so excited about this.
Well, when I was younger, anytime I was in a girl's room, it was always Fleetwood Mac albums were in there and Jackson Browne albums. That was the girls thing of the 70s.
And the weird thing is, I don't think that that's much different because I love Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
I love Stevie.
Yes.
I love Stevie Nicks. And so many of my girlfriends feel the same way. All my gay friends feel the same way. They are still so beloved.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And Lindsay Buckingham, one of the most unique guitar players of all time. Like if you really listen to, like, you could take the vocals out of Fleetwood Mac and go, oh, this is really unbelievable.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Because that rhythm section is one of the greatest of all times. And then I don't know if anyone plays the guitar like Lindsay Buckingham. There's a very strange, unique way of playing a guitar.
Seeing them live, you could just fall into watching any individual in that band and just be in awe of what they do. And there was a good portion of the time that I couldn't take my eyes off of Lindsay Buckingham. I can't believe what he not only does, but is still able to do with so much youth and power and sexiness. Yeah. It's nuts.
Here's what's really strange. When the Eagles came out with Hotel California, it was the biggest, right? It was a gigantic record. And then Rumors came out and it was kind of bigger.
Yeah.
It kind of knocked Hotel California off, which both those albums are still played constantly on classic rock radio. I mean, constantly. They never went away. These guys, Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles, are doing those shows in New York and in LA this year. It'll be some of the biggest concerts of the year.
Oh yeah, and that music never went off radio. Never.
No,
it just stayed existing on radio to this day. But when I went to go see them with my friends at Madison Square Garden, I have never been in a concert where, that feeling where you're like, fuck yeah, they're playing my favorite song. That just happens over and over and over in Fleetwood Mac. They have so many incredible songs, so many hits, so many songs that you could just sing every lyric to. That's rare in a band.
I know that seems rare now, but in the time that they put out those albums, that's what was expected.
Right.
People went to concerts in the 70s loving the entire album. So people would sing every Leonard Skinner song, every Bad Company song, every Electric Light Orchestra song. You didn't expect oh, we're going to blow up for the hit. It just didn't happen like that. And those albums, even though there are hit singles on it, I mean, across the board, people can sing those albums completely. And I'm going to prove it by singing it for them today.
Good. You should.
Christine McVey, also one of the most unique voices in history. Just incredibly unique voice.
Yeah, well, to think that her and Stevie Nicks in the same band who have both such distinct voice, so unique, two incredibly talented women, both doing, front vocals, phenomenal. And I got to see Christine play I think that was her first return to the band, because this is pretty
that was
new.
a major thing when she came back.
Yeah, so she had she was just
gone
returned
for a lot of years.
Yeah, I think that was probably the mid to late 90s maybe that she left the band. And then we saw her return tour And it was just crazy. Like, it was just so insane.
You know what's an interesting read is that thing about the making of Rumors, the album Rumors, because they took like a full year. People used to take a year to make an album back in those days, sometimes even longer.
And my favorite song by Fleetwood Mac did not, I think it's Rumors, not the self-titled one, did not make the cut.
What was that?
Silver Spring is my favorite Fleetwood Mac song.
You got to read that book because there's a big part of it of why it doesn't make and what it did to Stevie.
I know that one of the producers on the album was saying, I've worked with some of the best, and that's got to be the best cut of a song that didn't make an album. Like that, with any other band, you would go, this is making the album. This is fucking insane.
You know, you go back and like the Doors had Moonlight Drive written very early on, and it took 3 albums to make. Like, that's what it used to be like in those days. Like, they would be like shuffling it up. And even in like Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields were supposed to be on Sgt. Pepper, but they were like, okay, we got to get something out now, so let's release it now as a single, and then we'll worry about the album later. Could you imagine, like, everyone's making a big deal out of Sgt. Pepper if those 2 extra songs were on it?
I know.
I think Good Vibrations was supposed to be on Pet Sounds or something crazy like that. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
No, Good Vibrations is on Pet Sounds, right?
No.
Crazy. I'm nuts.
I'm willing to bet no.
That sounds track listing.
Yes.
It's coming up.
Great job stretching.
Yeah. Is it a great job, or is it just
no Good Vibrations?
Yes, of course not. I said it. I don't know why you guys need to check on it. What's that? Explosions.
I think they're doing work right next to us.
Can they not do stuff like that? My nerves are shot.
Sound good. Yeah. You know the kind of day we've had today, Vito, and you, out of all people, should know it more than anyone else. Chris, have you ever been to a concert where you can say everything by the band?
I've come close to Fish shows, but I never.
That's your rock. What about that Airplane Over the Sea album? You guys, they performed that thing.
Yeah.
And that's an album everybody could sing completely.
100%. I've seen them do that from start to finish, and it was so great.
That is an album that, always
Perfect
holds
album.
up. Yeah, it's a perfect fucking album. Yeah, it's like that used to be the gist of it. That when people listen to entire albums, and not even like listen to them once and went, "Oh, it's a good album."
Yeah.
But listen to them nonstop until the band showed up, and then that's when you would really lose your shit.
Right.
Your friends are very excited.
Yes.
About these folks.
Yes, Laura and Scott and Jason are here. They're super, super excited.
They should be. Damn it. They should be. One of the biggest. Well, you know what was really interesting when everyone thinks of Fleetwood Mac as once Lindsay Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, but they put up albums before that. They were like a blues band, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But when that first album came out with them on it, it was kind of a slow climb. It took over a year before that album hit #1, and I think they were in the studio making Rumors when they're like, "Hey guys, this album's #1."
Oh wow, that's pretty crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Hey guys, we're a hit.
Yeah, we're a
Let's finish
#1 band. Yes.
Good. Let's get back to work though.
But still, we should celebrate with a big pile of cocaine.
And by the way, Silver Springs isn't making the cut.
But we are putting in silver bells for the Christmas time.
We just don't have room for 2 silvers.
We were talking about people being able to sing, full albums. Now people can't even sing the full single. Ladies and gentlemen, this ADD of these millennials.
I check out after the first chorus. I'm like, good, I heard it.
It's perfect. Are they ready to come in, or do we need to stall and have you check set lists for different bands. Well, I think they're doing some solo shows.
Yes, they are touring.
And then also they'll be doing the Fleetwood Mac shows in between those.
Yes, they're doing
the Classic East and the Classic West.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you this, Chris. Are you more Eagles or Fleetwood Mac?
I'm more Fleetwood Mac.
Really?
Are you?
Well, I became more acquainted with Fleetwood Mac because of all the Tinder dates I went on. Every single girl loved Fleetwood Mac and told me they went to the show with their moms.
But why would that turn you into?
Yeah. And you're like, I want to be someone's little daughter, too.
See, the thing is, back then, the Eagles were more for boys.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac more for girls. Though a lot of girls like the Eagles still. And, obviously there was always the
Stanleys.
Yeah, the Stanleys of the world who like, their Fleetwood Mac. They enjoyed. You're not Eagles at all, though, are you?
No, I would not say I'm Eagles. It's not that I dislike, but I never had an Eagles moment aside from the fact that you can't listen to rock music and not know the Eagles, but I never delved deep and got into the Eagles.
One thing I do think is true, though, is you gotta take it easy.
I agree with that. That I agree with.
Which, by the way, Jackson Browne wrote 99% of that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think Glenn Fry wrote It's a Girl, My Lord, in a Flatbed Ford, which, by the way, perfect. Seriously, that's enough for you to get co-writership on.
I agree.
But if you ever hear Jackson Browne's version, he really is taking it easy. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very slow version.
Right. It seems like the Eagles are telling us to take it easy.
Yeah.
But take your own message. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
Slow down.
Those dudes never took it easy. They hated other bands and each other. They were not all that laid back. They were actually perfectionists.
Yeah, you said watching the documentary how incredibly broy they were in their approach.
Oh yeah, they were very broy and willing to punch each other if they didn't like the sound that they had. Let's start punching and kicking guys out of the band.
That's not how we rock.
You're out of the Eagles, motherfucker. Thought we were laid back, dude. Fuck you, man. You're not laid back enough, Jack. And this is kind of sweet. Glenn Fry's kid is going to be in the band now.
Yeah, that's really
always
sweet.
my favorite thing. Like, you know what? You're dead. Throw the kid in there. Everything's fine. It's like Sanford and Son. You got to have a Lamont. What if we bring them into that?
Oh
Let's bring in Lindsay Buckingham and Christine McVey.
Don't pull that, please.
No, it's happening.
No,
it's happening.
And then we'll be going like this.
Don't ruin this for me.
Will Rolo be playing with you this time?
Please, I'm very tense about this.
Yeah. Look how long it takes Chris to get anything. This may be the best song of all time. When they wrote this, they must have went, this is fucking perfect.
They must have been like, should we waste this on a show? I mean, this is a hit.
All right, we got them ready to come in?
Yes, we
So
do.
drop all the crazy Sanford and Son
Please,
stuff.
Chris.
How do they want to be talked about?
It's Lindsay Buckingham, Christine McVey, and the album Lindsay Buckingham, Christine McVey is available now in stores and on iTunes, and you can go to Ticketmaster for all their tour dates.
And the single is called?
The single is
In My World.
In My World, yeah.
Let's play that.
Yeah.
Lindsay Buckingham, Christine McVey, the new album Lindsay Buckingham, Christine McVey is available now in stores and on iTunes and Amazon. Thank you so much for coming in and congratulations on this album.
Thank you. Great
It's so
pleasure.
fantastic. It's so great, the two of you collaborating on this. And I have to wonder, what about the both of you, considering in the band, what is it like to collaborate just the two of you?
Well, I think over the years, over the course of our careers, we probably subliminally collaborated more than we thought in the context of the studio, just musically. But yeah, it's phenomenal. It was when I rejoined the band. Lindsay thought it was a good idea to go and reconnect because I'd been sending him demos over from England, and to reconnect and try and work on some stuff in the studio environment, which was great for me, having been dormant for quite 16 years or something.
But you don't lose that muscle, that songwriting muscle.
Certainly don't lose the chemistry. Well, that's Lindsay can talk about that.
Well, I mean, no, just that's the thing that you don't know. I mean, Christine and I talked about her coming back, and I just wanted to make sure she was never planning on leaving again.
Or could I even play?
Yeah. But the other thing was, she started sending me this stuff, and we made a plan to reconvene in the studio to kind of develop it before rehearsal started. And it was a big question in my mind. Are we going to get together and everything that there had been as a dynamic and a rapport, is that just going to be gone? Because I would think more often than not that might be the case, And so, it was pretty extraordinary that it took about 3 days to realize that our chemistry and our creative dynamic was actually better than ever. And somehow the individual roads we'd been down had come back and made a more effective equation.
How do you think that is? How is it that you think you can grow as artists and then come back together and have an even stronger connection?
I think a lot of people who just, I think part of it was the distance, for us. I mean, we always had a very potent and thing that we could do that, the two of us together, and there was always a mutual respect that we had for each other. But, a lot of people who stay in bands and just sort of follow the road that perhaps is expected of them, and perhaps are pursuing their identity as it relates to their brand, may slowly begin to paint themselves into a corner in terms of being in touch with their muse or the sense of why they probably got into this in the first place. And, at some point you make a choice to either be a commodity or to be, at least aspire to be an artist. And making that decision requires taking risks. It requires, not repeating yourself, necessarily for the sake of commerce per se. And so, that was a journey I've been down for those 15 years. I'd done more solo work in that time than ever before. And Christine, in her own way, had taken a road which was completely on her own terms. She'd needed to make a break from the band and to sort of reinvent herself and to cleanse herself in a number of ways from all of the things that were going on within the band. This is just my take on it, but she did things on her own terms and had her own journey and her own learning experiences, and so did I. And when you brought that back together, it just was reflected in.
But I mean, also I really, in my dark times in England, I would always find myself thinking about Lindsay and how much I respect his producing abilities and musical craft. And there's nobody else that I can think of that I would really want to work with.
Well, Lindsay, you've always been very comfortable in the studio. Some people want to get out of the studio as fast as they can, but you're willing to take the time. So maybe that also helped you guys, reignite that. Is just what's the rush?
And I love watching him do it all as well. So I stay there and
I mean, the studio is a magical place where things just get discovered. Where you can. It's like, making a movie or painting or something where things reveal themselves to you if you're open to that. And by virtue of that, you're helping to reinvent yourself,
But when it comes to chemistry, it's really out of your control. That's just something that happens.
It's been there. It was there before, and it's still there.
Yeah. But it's not like you could even go with another great artist and have chemistry. You never know how that's...
I never wished to be with anybody else, but say Fleetwood Mac or Lindsay, that's always been, it's been my life.
Now, for you, is it also being in the studio, is that the most exciting aspect of it? Is it performing? Is it songwriting? What for you was the most exciting part about working on this?
I love being in the studio. I've loved being on stage since I rejoined the band. That for me has just the feel of the boards and the sensation of walking onto a stage with 4 other people that you recognize as your musical family, really. And recording I love recording. I love any kind of background parts. I'll go out there, sing them. I just love the studio. Songwriting is a bit more of an enigma because I don't quite know whether it's the chicken or the egg. So
It's always amazing to me, particularly when you've had the kind of success that you guys have had for decades, is how many separate skills it takes for that band to go out there. That there's writing, there's playing, there's producing, there's being able just to walk that map and then be able to do what you guys are doing right now to come in and explain that, which is also a weird kind of skill that most people don't have.
I think Lindsay's quite eloquent at doing that. But I agree with you. I find it difficult to explain sometimes.
And even though the parts of that you may not like the most, you still need to do it to be able to keep that thing going.
Like packing suitcases.
Yes. Just being away from home is a very difficult thing.
You have to make your own home in every hotel you go to. Yeah.
But when you guys are on stage, it feels as natural as it did in the 70s because it appears that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's actually better now.
Yeah.
Those days were crazier days, shall we say, and the subculture, it wasn't just us, it was the entire subculture.
Sure.
Lived its life in a different sort of manner. I think everyone thought they had to do that in order to be creative, which turned out to be...
You're talking about drugs and alcohol.
Maybe. Turned out to be a myth.
Yeah.
But what is so beautiful now is that with maturity and with perseverance, because who would have thought that all these years later that this fivesome, Fleetwood Mac, certainly would still be together. A group of people who clearly on paper does not belong in the same band together. A group of people out of 5, there were 4 who were 2 couples who somehow managed to surmount the difficulties that they were having as individuals and to get on with fulfilling their destiny. But what makes all of that to me so sweet now is that you don't really know whether you've done your job properly until you've had maybe the equation of time. And so maybe many bands who might be popular in the moment may not hold up and may mean nothing 30 years later. Well, we're out there at this point in our careers, the 5 of us still here, playing to larger audiences than we've ever played to, and playing to 3 generations of people. So we know we've done something right if it means something to that range.
Gail and I talked about that. There's a generation of people that love you guys that weren't alive the first time that I saw you guys.
Oh, you
play.
had to say that.
And so when you look at the audience, it kind of resembles a 1976 audience because
it does.
The 18 and 22-year-old girls are there, and it's spooky to me.
It is.
In a lot of ways.
I've heard you say this is probably before you were born on stage.
Well, I had the pleasure of seeing you guys at Madison Square Garden along with other people who are in the studio as well. And like the audience was so varied and there was so much electricity in that room. I always have to wonder, are they experiencing it the same way we are? Because for us, I was thinking this is like the most electric night of my life.
We receive that adrenaline from the audience and give it back. So it's a whole room full of that.
And it is not nostalgic. That's the odd thing about it. There are certain bands like We'll Take You Back to 1958, but there's something about, and maybe it's because these are great musicians and these are great songs, but there's something about that chasing whatever we all go to for a live performance, that moment where we all go to a different place if it works out well. But you guys can feel that thing of, okay, the crowd's here for something bigger than just songs.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And in some ways, I think that was always part of the attraction of the band Fleetwood Mac. You know, if you go back to the Rumors time, there was a point, in my opinion, at which the popularity sort of detached from the music itself, and the popularity became about the popularity.
Yeah,
and obviously the subtext that was there for everyone to see. Thank God we didn't live in the tabloid world we live in now.
Yeah,
but you know, I think everyone was not just intrigued. It just didn't bring out the voyeur in everyone, although it did that. I think it brought out a sense of the fact that we were, you know, being slightly heroic, you know, and in somehow pushing through. And I think there was a kind of a sense of being able to prevail through difficulties that was inspiring.
Well, I think that you guys, and I may be wrong about this, but you understood that you were in a perfect storm musically.
Yeah.
So what was ever happening personally,
you had to rise above it.
Yeah. You had to compartmentalize pretty much everything, which didn't make for the best mental health in the near term. It took a little longer to sort all that stuff out, you know, but we're still here.
And all that stuff also came back into the writing for everybody.
Now, you both will be touring. You guys are going to be on tour. What is it like switching gears from playing with Fleetwood Mac and now moving into doing performances?
I have to say that I've never played with anyone but John and Mick in my entire life.
Is that right?
Except for a very small solo tour I did. But so this, for me, is stepping out into a new world with a new band. But it's a great adventure. They're a great band and they're wonderful.
And that kind of opens up new things that you've never experienced before when you just have the chance of being different that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, there obviously is a collective sensibility that exists in Fleetwood Mac. There's a collective politic that exists. I think one of the things that I was referring to earlier about doing solo work, one of the great things for me was that I learned a lot taking those solo albums out on the road and applying maybe a vocabulary that was a little bit more to the left to those shows. And I think, you know, what we've been able to do is bring some of those applications back into this, you know. And I think it's been really effective for this group of songs, and I think it's been really enlightening for both of us.
That's for sure.
And, you know, the zeitgeist of the whole world has changed since you kind of took your break, Christine. You know, there is, you know, to quote back to when we were young, there's something in the air now that you can actually feel. And sometimes I feel like this is the time that we need music and conversation most of all.
Definitely. I'm English and I live in London, and I'm pretty distressed about what's going on over there. Yeah, the world is a place of madness at the moment. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. But I always feel like we're all of our time and space, and that has as much to do with what people are doing musically now as anything else. And sometimes it's very, very subconscious, but it does reach you.
For sure. I mean, you have to do your best to try to fight the good fight, to try to uphold a set of ethical standards and live by those, to try to set examples. And it's funny, some of the material on this album, a song like In My World, which was actually written before Christine even rejoined the band, in a post-Trump world, it's kind of taken on a slightly new meaning.
Yes.
A certain poignancy.
Yes.
Which is, again, goes back to that subconscious. Is like, are we getting those kind of messages? Are those messages out there that the artists are picking up before we even understand that? Because I've seen that happen time and time again. I remember after 9/11 here in New York, it sounded like every song that was on the radio at the time was a post 9/11 song. You're like, Bowie was feeling something. You too was feeling something.
Well, maybe it's the way you're translating.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, sure. I mean, if the song is not overly specific in terms of its message and has a certain level of being open to interpretation, then everything becomes a Rorschach of sorts.
Sure.
Also, in this moment, you know, you'll never, it's too hard to tell the way it's going to impact music creatively, which I always think that is such an interesting thing, is you can't really see exactly the influences that it's going to do and the way it's going to change music and writing
Sometimes
and film.
it take years or decades before we go, oh,
Well,
so that's what was happening.
And we were in the middle of it and we had no idea.
And, you know, as we wrapped it up, that's the other amazing thing about you guys, that you have this connection for all this time. And here's a new and unique way.
Yes, and what took us so long?
Another branch off the tree.
Yes. Thanks so much for stopping by, guy. Best of luck
Thanks
with all
for
this.
having us.
Lindsay Buckingham, Christine McVey. The album is available now in stores and on iTunes and Amazon. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!